and we've kind of gone through the film, but you see the Jamal Williams / their offensive line versus our run defense. We gave up 211 yards last week. I don't know that this offense with Derek Carr in its current iteration, although the receivers are really good, and Derek's a really good quarterback, in this current iteration, if they don't run the ball well, I don't know that they're going to score a lot of points. Now, we have to score points too, but, obviously to win the game, but I don't know that they're going to score a lot of points just him chucking the ball 50 times. So if you're getting these guys, like you want to get these guys in second and long, third and long situations, can you stop that downhill run? Can you put 5 men on the line of scrimmage? Can you create matchups? We find the fish. Can you create matchups along the line that allow our good players to get one-on-one with their less than players? Number 2, I talked about at the beginning of the show. I can't wait to watch Zach Tom versus Cam Jordan. And really, Cam Jordan and all of these guys, they have, Tano is a good player. Granderson, if he goes over, there's a good player. They've got dudes, but Cam Jordan's really good. He's always been good. He's got a motor. He can go speed to power. He can go speed to chop. He has a dip. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He's a tall player. He can play with leverage. He can stab. I think Zach Tom's we've talked about it before, I think he's got elite hands. I think he's got elite body position. He can work on his pass sets. If he sets flat here, what's that going to look like? Can he get back in time? It's going to be a good matchup. And then in the run game, you talk about Cam versus not only Zach in the run game, but also our tight ends. What is it like having a Cam Jordan coming at Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, right? Are they going to try to last week you put him at the point of attack? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Are we comfortable doing that against Granderson and Cam Jordan? So I think that's an awesome matchup. Chris Olave is, Jair Alexander, or for whatever reason, they're linking the Drake London's success last week to have, hiccup game from Jair. And probably it's probably, fair enough. A couple of those plays they did make on Alexander. Chris Olave is coming in with a lot of confidence. He's a very, very good player. He's a burner. He seems to be their favorite target right now as Michael Thomas is coming off, I think, almost a season-long injury. So they've got some things to work out in the secondary, certainly with handling both those guys plus their tight ends. I still am waiting for the day where we can just play press man or off man with Jair. Let's just let him do his thing and live with the consequences and then build a defense around that, right? It's some form or fashion. Because right now, I'm not sure that the Saints are going like, well, we got to put him in slot. We got to put him in because we got to get him away from Jair. I don't think that's the case. And I think that we'd be better off going more man to his side, less zone. He's that kind of corner. That's his mentality. His mentality is I'm going to war with this guy. Now I don't want to play off. I want to play in zone. So let's give him an opportunity to do what he wants to do at the highest level. Let's have him trail the guy all game. And let's see if we can shut somebody down and we can focus on the rest of the team. And then the last part is, whether it's Kenny Clark, whether it's Wyatt, whether it's Slayton, whether it's Van Ness coming down in nickel, whether it's Preston Smith rushing at the 3 technique positions, which I would love to see this week against that left side. Particularly, we talk about Trevor Penning a little bit, but particularly going up against James Hurst, who I just thought had a bad week last week. And sometimes these things happen. They just start piling up on you. So if he has any confidence loss from last week, then this is a place you can exploit for certain. I think if you really start talking about, where are the advantages? Where are the places that we can find a path to victory? Because this is a really tough game. I think if they establish a running game this week, if we're talking about, can you have 4+ yards, 4.5 yards plus on first and second down? Play action in the middle of the field's open. We saw it on tape. It's on tape for you. Tight ends could have an impact on this game because of that. They can have in the play action game because the way the linebackers suck in. And then also because a lot of the stuff you see on the waggles, you see on the keep passes, they're playing everything so deep. There's going to be a lot of checkdowns in this game. So can your backs, can your tight ends get into the check down and then make something happen out of there? Just move the sticks. Right? Can we stay on schedule? I didn't think the Panthers did a good job watching that tape of using the field. I think Matt LaFleur is going to give Jordan Love more real estate space to play with, not only literally in the sense of they're going to use the entire field and try to fight for every blade of grass, because that's kind of what the offense is predicated on, especially, with Jaden Reed kind of emerging as one of those guys that can do that, but also maybe expanding his role in this offense as far as opening up the playbook a little bit more. Defensively, the Saints are limited right now, I think, on offense for what they can do in the running game because they don't have Kamara. They're going to be a downhill team. If they try to bounce, if they bounce run on us, then it's on us. You're doing a poor job of engaging blocks. You're doing a poor job of tackling. They are not necessarily, because of that left side in particular, they're not necessarily a ground and pound team, but that right side, you get those doubles, you get Jamal Williams going downhill, you can create a little momentum. They can work off that. If we can keep Derek Carr off his first read, that short passing game is efficient for them. And that short passing game is like a matter of time, not a matter of distance, right? So they can still throw the deep ball, but I'm talking about you get the guy off rhythm a little bit, get somebody in his face. We seem to have more efficiency. I don't know what his numbers are historically versus pressure, but when I'm watching the tape this year, maybe it's because it's a new offense, doesn't look like the same guy when he can just get back, hit his back foot, let the ball go. So let's do some quick keys to victory before we get out of here. Keys to victory. Number 1, make the Saints a one-dimensional team on offense. Take advantage of the left side. Take advantage of the fact that Kamara's not there. Live on it. Number 2, we have to create an identity as a Green Bay Packers organization. Who are you going to be on offense? What is your offensive identity? I hope they went in on Wednesday and they said, this is the path to victory. These are the behaviors we're going to have in practice. This is the scheme, the system, the methodology that we're going to run against specifically this team, this defense, this fish, this player, whatever. How are we going to feel like we have a real chance to move the ball, get 300 plus yards, 350 yards of offense, score 25, 30 points? How do we feel comfortable saying that? And then the third one is just be content winning the rep. This isn't a beauty contest. This Saints team on defense in particular is tough, and they're going to try to play a physical brand of football. So you have to have a plan. You have to communicate your plan, and you got to be willing to go in there with some conviction, make adjustments throughout the game, but really focus every single rep, winning your one-on-one battle. Can we win our 1v1 matchup throughout the entirety of this game? If the answer is yes, feel really good about this game. If the answer is no, it's going to be tough. They're too good defensively. They got too much going for them. And I think Derek Carr, is probably thinking he's due for a breakout game. So that's what we have for the Packers. There's a couple other games going on tonight. Giants, San Francisco 49ers. 10.5 points isn't enough. I think it's going to be a blowout. Saquon Barkley's not playing. A couple interesting plays this week. Chargers, Vikings, both 0-2. Minnesota Vikings at home, favored by 1. Toss-up game. I'm actually going to take the Chargers on that game because I just think Herbert's going to I think he's going to throw for like 400 yards. I could be way off. Titans, Browns, that'll be interesting. Browns probably win that one at this point. Who else we got? We got the Patriots, Jets game. Not much to talk about there. Broncos, Dolphins. Dolphins could win by more than 6.5. Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons. Detroit's at home. Just lost a close one to Seattle. This is going to be I think that the Atlanta Falcons played us on defense better than I thought we would have. I think we did okay. I think the Jared Goff and company is going to do better. And the question really is, the Lions defense still isn't great. What answer do they have for Bijan Robinson and company? They're favored by 3. The over-under is 46. That's a relatively high-scoring game. It's 23 aside. I think Detroit wins that game. I don't know if it's by 3. What else we have? Chicago, Kansas City, Dallas, Arizona. 12 points is not enough. That could be a bloodbath. And we got Monday night games. Okay, we got Philly at Tampa. Philly will win that one at Tampa, 5 points. And then interesting game. LA Rams at Cincinnati Bengals might be the game of the week. Not for a lot of people, but you think about it. Is Joe Burrow going to – well, if Joe Burrow plays and he can play off that leg, it's a game. The Rams are actually playing pretty well. Surprisingly well. Better than everybody thought they would at this point. So Cincinnati by 3. Take Cincinnati. Long story short, guys, it's going to be a fun weekend.